sense to we talk about things as though we're there. I mean, it's not just this subject. Like, this is just one of many. And I love having these type of exchanges with my friends and family because it's like we all are like, let's think about this in different ways. But for me, it's like when we get there, okay, fine. Swap everybody in and out. I don't care. Like, we're not there yet. Like, to me, we still are fighting for our lives, quite frankly, including our mental health. And it's even more important for us to do what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is making sure that, okay, well, this is going to be only people from my culture or my clan or what have you that are doing the curating, that are making money off of this. And we always are like willing to take a step to the side and say, no, everyone can do it. Everyone can profit off of it. It's fine. And I get that people contributed in huge ways. I am not trying to take that away from anyone. But again, when we get there, that's my take.
But you see, like that, I'm sorry. No, that's the whole thing for me. Like, every time, it's like I'm constantly torn between, saying, fuck it, let's just do our own thing. Let's just have our own exclusively black, this, that, and the other. But in turn, you consider the civil rights leaders that fought for us to be where we are, and you consider what their purpose was. Like, literally everything we've done so far is either counteracting what they tried to instill or is helping push it forward. People say that they want freedom. To me, freedom is acceptance of all things in all extremes. Like, let's consider what we're actually asking for. And let's consider that, our predecessors wanted to make it so that we are just like everybody else. That's what equality is. And that means that everyone is included. I'm not for people just stealing our shit and just repurposing our shit. Like, now I notice all these trick-ass bitches want to take a knee after Kaepernick took the L for so long.
Who else is taking a knee?
The women that are protesting Kavanaugh.
I didn't know that.
They've started taking a knee or kneeling down. Like, now they want to do that after Nike finally came around and endorsed him. Now it's cute.
Right.
Like, that I'll never agree with, because right is right and wrong is wrong. But if we really want to think about it, if we really want peace and freedom and all of that, that means embracing everyone.
I mean, both of you make such awesome points, and I feel very conflicted in it, and I can't choose a side, because I think the way that slavery was ended, it was a collaborative effort. The way that the Voting Rights Act was passed, it was a collaborative effort. I'm sure people who funded this museum, it was a collaborative effort between many racial groups, right? But I think what Chi-Chi refers to is the fact that historically, our story as Black people have not been told from our own mouths. It's been told through the mouths of other people, through the interpretations of other people. When you look at history books, they're not generally written by Black people. It's not us telling our story. And I think that is where the conflict comes, and I think that is what spurred all the rage that you saw on Twitter. It's like, we want to be able to tell our own story. We want to be able to celebrate the culture, this music that we created. But there's also what I mentioned, what I thought was mentioned in the article, was the fact that they felt like there wasn't anyone who had as much experience as the curator in terms of, her background and in terms of the museum training that she received in her education. Is that true? I don't know. Are there other Black people that could have been just as, had just as many credentials as she did? Probably yes. So I'm not really sure if that's the case, but I do think that it is about us coming together, but there has to be this sensitivity around it, because our voice has been altered for so long, and we have to read about ourselves from other people, that it becomes painful when it's thrown in your face in 2018 that you're still looking at your own history from somebody else's perspective or what someone else chooses to curate, right? So I think it's challenging.
When are we going to capitalize? Because every time we have historically come together, whether we got property together, now it's Central Park, right?
Okay.
They come in and take it. I mean, we talked about Lady of Rage's activism for Fred Hampton, a former Black Panther, the free school system that I grew up on anyway, was started by the Black Panthers. And the redlining, where you come to me and say, oh, I bought a house, and you may be my white, coworker. I'm like, oh, and he's like, hey, in goodwill, hey, you should go buy a house in the same block I did. And you get a mortgage, and I get a mortgage contract, which means I don't own the house, and I'm paying double what you're paying.
Or if you just
so we are still, this is only 2018, we're still living with the ramifications of that. But to Kimber's point, we have come so far. And I love that you said that you're conflicted, because I think a lot of times we just want to be like, yes or no, black or white, right or wrong.
It's not like that.
And it's not like that. And I feel like that reminded me of an episode. If you watch Atlanta with Donald Glover, if you guys watch that?
No.
Oh my God, you have to catch up. I think season 3 is starting soon, but there's an episode where Donald's character tries to get his cousin, who's a aspiring up-and-coming rapper, some representation, and it's a black guy, and he's like, I want a Jewish guy. And Donald's like, oh my God, I was trying to hook you up, this guy is good. He's like, yeah, but does he have the type of clientele that's like, the rappers I aspire to be? And there's one moment where they have to get like a passport really quickly, like within hours, and they go to this guy, and he's like, oh, you guys are our best customers, the rappers, and he happens to be Jewish, and he's like, hey, can I ask you a question? Do you know of a black guy that can do the same thing? And he's like, to be honest, yeah, but they don't have the connections, and they don't have that, that business that's been like institutionalized, or it's been passed through the family. Right. And that's what this kind of reminds me of, and what you said about they couldn't find someone with the same experience, and that's fine. But the question then for me becomes, and it doesn't have to happen tomorrow, how does that happen in the future? How do you make sure that there's a little girl or a little boy that has that experience as we move forward? Because a lot of us are being left behind, and it's not just because of what's happening now, it's happening because of systemic practices that were put in place decades ago that we're still grappling with.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think it's about resources too. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you have an African American History Museum, then you need to have programs where you involve the community. I am all about community. If you are creating a hip hop exhibit, right, you need to have a way for young scholars, young women, young men to be able to have a museum internship, right?
Come in and write.
Do something like that. Allow them to, learn from someone who is curating so that they can be the future people that are involved. So I think it's about that as well.
Just general,
paying it forward.
Yeah, like just general open-mindedness and just like a collective effort. Like we have to, of course, we have to unify first, and that's gonna take time. But I just feel like at this point, like we don't even know our entire story, and chances are we never will. So what we have to do is try to move forward, try to look at it and learn from it what we can, and make it a point to say, okay, this happened, that happened, but what are we gonna do now? That's always my thing. Yes. Anytime there's an issue, all right, sis, I get that, but what are we gonna do now?
Right. And it's also about instead of allowing things to happen and then complaining about them and being like, who's gonna do something about this? Why don't we step up? Because I think a lot of times what happens is we like to, post on Twitter and do comments and say things and accuse people and point fingers, but we're not
doing anything.
We're not stepping up to the plate, and maybe no one stepped up to the plate, and she did.
Yeah.
Well, just two things I want to say before we move on. Whoever the woman is that is curating, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And she's part of a team that's actually being led by a black woman at the museum.
Right. It's a collaborative effort.
Exactly.
But it's still a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good conversation, but I think we just need to do more.
And stop being complacent.
Do more.
Absolutely.
Complacency is a big factor as to why we're not further along.
And we have to stop expecting people to put things in place for us, and we have to really start taking ownership. Okay? Like, if you want to see change, you have to be involved. You cannot just point fingers and talk about how she's doing this and why isn't he doing this or she doing that. You have to take a role, play a role, get
Be
involved.
the change you want to see.
Hello, Gandhi. Thank you.
God damn it.
Change. Action.
Right.
So.
And sacrifice. Stop being scared, like you want to chill with your 9 to 5 and you're doing all right, but deep down you're just dissatisfied by the establishment. Make that sacrifice.
You're triggering folks.
Make that sacrifice.
So, Kimber, tell us about our up-and-coming pick this week.
Oh my God.
Because that's a woman of action and change for sure.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
So, my pick of the week for Popping Off Pink is this black woman that's doing it up. Her name is BBYMUTHA.
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 Yes.
Spell that one more time because I want people to look her up.
BBYMUTHA. One word. If you're not familiar, get familiar. I'm not an avid hip hop listener, but when I saw her, I was like, okay, purple dreads, different color wigs and weaves, like I need to know who this person is. And I started listening to her music, and like 10 seconds in, every song I've heard was a bop. It's not easy for me to become interested in what I'm hearing, but she's got it going on. She's a mother of 4. She's a mother to two sets of twins.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Leos and Scorpios.
Yeah. She's
fire and water.
Right. And she's a Tennessee native, and from my understanding, she's been through a lot, and she's been through a lot before becoming, like, rap was always in her life, but she's committed to it fully after, like, a series of diversions from, like, abusive relationships, and, she comes from what most amazing talents come from, which is obscurity and hardship. And I just love her music. I listen to Gold Kit. I listen to Free Britney. I listened to everything that she has out, and I'm just obsessed with like her flow. Her content is solid. The production accommodates her music, like her musicality beautifully. Like I think she's lovely. How did you?
She was so inspirational. Here's the thing: I listened to some of her music first,
right?
Then I read up on her. Then I went back to listening to her music, and so many things. Okay, first thoughts, like she has a very, in a good way, a West Coast sound.
Yes, exactly.
And I was like, damn, I wish I was back home because like I want to like pop this in while I'm driving, and I don't drive here in New York. But that's definitely someone you could pop in, drive, and just never ever like skip a song or change the album. And the way she was just so raw about everything, it was like Millie Jackson meets Trina or some shit. Like I was like, wow. And it's like you appreciate it, but it was also funny because she was so like raw with it. And what you said about like her hardship, I read up on her about the twins and some of the abusive relationships. But even with that, one of her, the twins' dad, she was like, oh, he was really fucked up, but we're friends now. Like he moved out to California, and he's a better person now. Like the fact that you could tell she's just like a good person.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say, because I want Junie to chime in, man, the inspiration when she said, it's times where I'm like, damn, am I really gonna be able to do this? And then at the last minute, one of her aunts would like pop up and say, I can watch the kids.
Right.
So she's like, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Right.
And she really believes that. And even when she had those moments of doubt, she's like, well, something always happened to where somebody could watch the kids, or, you know, I got that ride to the airport or whatever. And that was just very inspirational to me. So it's like her music was dope. She's dope. And I was like, why don't we see her? Like, does she go live and stuff like that? I'm like, I want to see her. I don't want to just see
she's like underground.
A couple of people.
Yeah, she's underground, and she does like a lot of shows and tours, but I feel like she definitely needs to be above ground, romping and stomping with the rest of them, because she has a lot more to offer.
She has an awesome energy.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I pressed play, I was like, oh.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes.
All right. You know, she gives you, like Chichi said, that West Coast vibe, this good energy. She's funny. She's witty. I love it. And you feel like you're sitting in the living room with, like, your best friend, you know, in the sense that she's real. And you just like, yes, girl, yes. You know, and that's what I really appreciated about her. And her sound, it's not
conventional at all.
Yeah.
She's like a Lil Wayne, ASAP Rocky with actual lyrical capability.
Right.
She's got
a little
lot
too
going
short,
on.
too.
Yes.
Like a female Too Short mixed in.
Exactly.
But she talked about, in the article I read, it's in the Fader if you guys want to check it out. She talked about one of her songs. They were like, oh, you should give this to Nicki. And she goes on this rant. She's like, you know what? Everybody's not going to be light-skinned with a long hair and big titties and a fat ass. And, you know, people were saying things about her looks. And she's like, I look how I look, and I'm going to do my own shit.
Yeah.
I'm not passing it off to anybody else. And I also, like, felt that fire as well. I was like, yes, I want to follow this
I just need her
person.
to have, like, a duet with Miss Kaya Shimon.
Oh, my God.
Get it over with.
I could see that.
Get it over
Or even
with.
Missy. Missy dropped some beats. She like literally dropped us a 30-second. She teased us 30 seconds on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, Missy, where's the rest of it? 'Cause I got my booty shaking now. Now what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Oh man, but it's like refreshing though. I'm glad that you introduced.
Go check out Baby
this
Mother,
artist to
please.
me. Yes.
Give her all your money.
Pasta.
Give her all your money and
Roses
attention.
and Rules. Pasta, Roses, and Rules were my 3 favorite. I loved everything.
I liked Rules,
but those 3, I'm like, Pasta, what is this? Those 3 like really resonated
Rules
with
was
me.
actually like the hit that went viral.
Mm-hmm.
That like
she had
put
the
her
video.
on, but I love Indian Hair. That's my shit.
Hip hop artists, especially a lot of female hip hop artists, that's something that holds us back, right? Just like Baby Mother was saying, like, you know, they want her to give her song to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we are enough just the way that we are, in what we have, in the God-given talent that we have. And we really have to remember that. Everything that you need is inside of you.
Yep.
It's really about, are you able to step up and push past the fear and allow yourself to truly live.
Right. And defend what you are.
Okay? And sometimes you do. You have to fight for it a little bit.
Sometimes.
You know?
Most times.
Every day.
You know, and it can be about, no, I am good enough.
Right.
And I'm going to keep going. And maybe that person that doesn't believe you're good enough isn't the right person for you. And you have to keep going.
Yep.
You know, and so that is a lyric of encouragement to everyone out there. If you're working on your own projects, if you're trying to become an artist, if you want to become a museum curator, okay, honey, whatever it is that you're trying to work on, we see you and we celebrate you.
Yeah, girls and guys, whoever needs
And house cats.
Yeah.
And house cats.
Shout out to all the house cats.
Shout out.
Shout out to everyone that tuned in on our live. Shout out to Hip Hop's biggest fan.
Yes,
Hey,
thank
Hip
you,
Hop's
Hip
biggest
Hop's
fan.
biggest fan. We see you.
Shout out to Deadly Dragon. Shout out to Johnny Go Figure.
Shout out to Dear Lovely Chaos, who's been giving us the free promo.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Donate to our Patreon. Give us your
Please.
lunch money if you like us. And if you don't like us, that's cool. Just keep watching, because we're going to dust everybody.
I just want to, first of all, thank you for that lyric. It was a beautiful lyric, but I also felt like it was poetry.
Yeah.
And what I love about this show is that I am inspired both by the lyric that you just shared, and I'm inspired by Baby Mother. And we really embrace all of the different artists, both men and women, but you know, we are focusing on a lot of the female artists, and we'll continue to highlight them as we move forward. And this has been inspiring for me. As strong as people may think that I am, I need people to like check in on me too. And it is a fight every day, just to like say I belong here. And I try to mentor people when I can, and I share something that someone shared with me about 5 years ago, which is when you have that fear and you're walking into or sitting at a table, just remember you're sitting at that table for a reason, so you already belong there, and carry yourself that way.
Yes. And also, it's okay to ask for help. I think that we are taught as a people to be strong, and as women to be strong and fearless, and you just keep going, girl. You keep going. You okay? And sometimes you're not okay.
Your arm is falling off. Pay attention.
Okay? And it's just really important for, you know, us to be able, it's strong to ask for help, actually. Because you're able to go above the fear and say, you know what? I need someone. And check in on your strong friends.
Yes.
That's a key.
And for anyone who, I just am really still, like, my heart is wrenched thinking about the story with Judge Hatch's daughter-in-law. Like you said, Junie, it's important to ask for help, and there's strength in that. But when you ask for help and no one hears, fight, kick, scream, push, advocate for yourself. Make sure you take someone with you to the hospital. Make sure you have someone on speed dial if for some reason someone can't be there in person, because that is not okay.
It's not.
That is not okay.
Like the people that we entrust with our bodies, you know, like they tell you, oh no, like go get it checked out, this, that, and the other. But what do you do when you actually go to get checked out and someone's disregarding your pain? Because I guess they think, oh, she's black, she's fine. Like I can't even begin to think of why you would, as a doctor, as a medical professional on a medical premises, disregard someone's complaint about pain and discomfort. Ciao, bye.
Well, I wish you healing from physical pain, mental, emotional. We talked a lot about our spiritual journeys. Some of us cut our hair. Some of us have given up food for momentarily. This was heavy, man.
This was heavy.
World Mental Health
And it's
Day.
gonna get heavier.
But you know what?
And it got fun, too. But, you know,
okay.
I'll be listening to BBYMUTHA on the subway on the way home.
It's okay, though. You know, like, what I think is unique about this podcast and what we hope you as the audience and listeners enjoy about it is, you know, not only are we talking about hip-hop, but we're really talking about you as a community and how we can heal together, because that is just as important. You know, what creates music, what keeps music going is the community. And we all need to be healthy. We all need to feel energized. We all need to feel good about ourselves. So keep taking care of yourself. You know, that is a key of life. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you fuel or take care of any other community, any other form of music?
It's true. It's true. Have your margaritas and then juice. And then eat right.
Maybe not in that order.
Why not? Can't I like toxify and then purify?
Make sure there's a toilet nearby if you do that in that order. But yes, all of those things are key towards self-care. You know, getting enough rest, which I need to do a better job of personally. And normally, you know, we end on some high note, and I think we're ending on a high note now. But I really want to encourage people to give us feedback and tell us what you thought about this show, or if you're catching up on previous shows, and what you'd like to see or who you would like to see. So we are signing off live from Queens, New York. Queens get the money.
Hey,
peace and love, and we will see you for episode 5 very
much
soon.
love. Thank you for listening.
Bye, hoes.
Oh man.
Thank you, Paul.
Wait, how do
And save it.
It popped the
It's
bottom.
popping up.
did it?
And
And okay, something else.